For this Basecamp adventure, we return to the outstanding natural beauty of the Yorkshire Dales, a land shaped by the ancient glaciers of the Ice Age, the Carboniferous limestones providing the perfect geology for supporting waterfalls, with its rich farming heritage complementing the landscapes we enjoy today. The spectacular scenery of the Yorkshire Dales is a direct result of the unique geology which we discover on foot. Join us on this most beautiful of base camping adventures. For this trip, I pitch up at Langcliffe Caravan Park in the south of the Dales. A David Bellamy Gold Award park carefully blended into the landscape as not to distract from the surrounding beauty. Touring pitches are spacious, hard standing and drenched with the gorgeous views. The park also offers lodge-style accommodation and statics for holiday home ownership, some enjoying the views of a large duck pond. Finally, the centrepiece of the park is Tarn Brow, a traditional farm building which are an integral part of the special qualities found in the Yorkshire Dales. This has now been converted to holiday apartments. When I arrived to my allocated pitch, I practiced my reversing manoeuvres as always. I am still far from perfect, but I did manage to get the caravan on the pitch in around half a dozen manoeuvres. And as always, under the watchful eye of my partner in crime. So here we are on our pitch at the Langcliffe Touring Park in the South Yorkshire Dales. Beautiful pitch right nestled in the corner. I'm on a fully serviced pitch, as you can see, and I've had to balance my Acroll on the spare leveller because it would have been leaning into the caravan otherwise, and I didn't want to do that. Got the shower there for the dog. Grey pipe heading off to the drain. I'm on a 10-metre electric cable coming round the front, the usual setup. Got my orange Basecamp orange hitch cover, and then for the awning I've gone for the Camper Dometic 200. I was torn. I was going to bring the Vango RVA2, but for hiking trips like this with just me and my dog, it's a bit overkill, as I just need a shelter. In terms of setting up time, it takes me about the same time to set them both up. I had it up within half an hour. Same difficulty when you're on your own, but that's just what I need for hiking trips with the dog. Just something to keep waterproofs and a shelter and dry the dog off. Obviously got the Camper Dometic 200 awning carpet, the Dometic 200 carpet, and I've got the 7 kilo water rates around the corners. So if you imagine that's 4 of them, so that's 28 kilos of additional support, because the weather's going to get quite changeable towards the end of our stay. We're here for 4 days, and as always when I use this awning, I just put a zip tie, plastic zip tie on top to stop those two poles gibbering together when the wind picks up. So let's go inside. So we go into the caravan. Obviously got the dog. She's gone into standby mode, bless her. She's been waiting patiently for her first walk. We're going to go in a moment. She is in walk mode. She's just in standby, so we'll get going shortly. It's just the usual setup. I've put the grey throws down just because of those dogs' paws, especially if it gets wet in a couple of days' time. Taking the white ones off, put the grey ones on. Same cushions. I've got the TV. I've got some good films to watch during our stay. I'm going to go for a war film theme. In terms of food, I'm not planning on eating out at all while I'm here. So I've just brought the usual tin food, stews, casseroles, tomatoes, etc., beans. And if you have a look in the fridge, I don't normally look in the fridge. So in our fridge, nicely stocked up with food, stuff for sandwiches, bacon, breakfast, all the usual stuff, a few beers. So I'm self-sustainable, should you say, for the next 4 days. In the top cupboard here, yeah, got some bread, crisps, some chocolate biscuits, the usual. And then here, I keep my tea and coffee in sauces, plates and cups. And obviously got my kettle and my Dolce Gusto coffee machine there. So we're all set up for 3 days hiking. I'm really excited to be back out in the base camp on a hiking trip. I'm really looking forward to this one. And then if we look, that's our view out the window. We've got a real quiet corner of this campsite. I'm really happy with the pitch, fantastic. So let's get ready to rumble. So the plan for this afternoon, it's about 3 o'clock now, so it's getting quite late in the day. But I've got a 5-mile hike planned from the campsite here. So from Langcliffe campsite to, it's called Catrigg Waterfall, and it's a circular walk. Should take us about 2.5 hours, 3 hours maximum with stops. I'll get us back about 6 o'clock in time for tea. So I better wake that dog up.
Starting our walk directly from the base camp, we soon step into a picturesque village with their traditional stone cottages and occasionally unique features. These villages, famed in the Yorkshire Dales, sit amongst long-established farming landscapes. Our route continues alongside the distinctive dry stone walls, which are some of the oldest man-made landscape features in the country, and it is believed there are over 5,000 miles of dry stone walls in the Yorkshire Dales. Drawing closer to our destination, we venture down a wooded cove with the building roar of Catrigg Waterfall. Well hidden within a deep gorge, this waterfall is a magical creation of nature, complete with its unending symphony.
So we're back from our first hike here in the Yorkshire Dales to the Catrigg Waterfall. It was absolutely beautiful, that walk. Stunning scenery, and that's the dog, done and dusted. She hasn't even had a tea yet and she's flat out. I actually bought her a new cushion to sleep on. That's normally where she sleeps, in that corner there. New cushion, and she's like, no, don't want it. So the plan for this evening, then what I'm going to do is, I've just got the water on there now. Just got the hot water on, just waiting for that to heat up. Going to have a shower, and then I'm going to prepare some tea in the old galley kitchen, crack a beer open, and then I'm going to put a film on and get an early night, because we've got a big hiking day tomorrow. Absolutely fantastic. Soon as the food's on, the dog's all of a sudden wide awake, aren't you, darling? Don't you worry, you'll get a bit. Okay, well, it's the first night. It's a warm night tonight. Let's just take a moment to celebrate the dog being on her sleeping bag.
The early morning is glorious, with the sounds of nature complementing the clear views of the distant dales. The anticipation of the day's plans ahead begins to grow.
So the plan for today, I've got an 8-mile walk, circular walk in Malham, and this walk is the reason why I'm in this area of the Yorkshire Dales. So it's an 8-mile Malham circular taking in the Malham Cove, Gordale Scar and Malham Tarn.
The benefit of a caravan is the freedom of a car. So the dog and I take the short drive to Malham, the starting point of our route. Firstly, we hike into the magnificent Gordale Scar, one of the Yorkshire Dales' oldest and most fascinating natural landmarks. This deep gorge was formed on the Middle Craven fault line, which runs from Cumbria to the Dales. Glacial meltwater flowed through faults in the rocks over a number of successive ice ages, leading to the collapse of several caves, creating a limestone ravine over 100 metres deep. The water that flows over the waterfalls at the heart of the ravine is rich in dissolved limestone. Our route continues up and over the scar, where we enjoy the grandeur and awe-inspiring might of Mother Nature. Heading cross-country towards Malham Tarn, we experience a shroud of solitude, breathing in the calm view and relishing in the serenity, undisturbed by human activity. In the Yorkshire Dales, open water is rare. During the Ice Age, a glacier scraped away the limestone rock down to an ancient layer of slate, thus creating Malham Tarn. By pure coincidence, the tarn was sealed when the glacier melted, dropping banks of clay and gravel across it. Feeling thankful to ancient geology for making such a delightful spot for us to enjoy lunch and take a hard-earned rest. Our final destination on this hike is the geological wonder of Malham Cove. This incredible feat of nature is a huge curving amphitheatre of limestone rock over 70 metres high and has amazed visitors for centuries. The top of the cove being a deeply eroded limestone pavement of a strange pattern rarely seen in England.
So we're back from that hike, the Malham Circular to Gordale Scar, Malham Tarn and then Malham Cove. What a fantastic hike that was. The poor little old faithful dog is exhausted. It's gone really warm, so I've got my little Wuzu fan keeping it nice and cool. So I'm not expecting to get much more out the dog for the rest of the afternoon, well, late afternoon, evening, or nor should I expect to. So the plan for this evening, I've got the water on. I'm going to go and have a base camp shower very shortly. Yep, can't beat a base camp shower. And then I'm going to cook some food. I've got some pasta in the cupboard. Some pasta there, some tomatoes in the cupboard, and I've got some meats selections and cheese and mushrooms. I'm going to make myself a really nice pasta dish. Have a couple of beers, finish my war film from last night and start another one. I'm looking out into the campsite. I've got a few more fellow campers have arrived. Superb. She's finally on it. There you go, dog. So it's another fine morning in the base camp. It's our last full day here in the Yorkshire Dales. We had a weather front come through last night and it rained and the wind got up, and that's really taken the temperature down to more comfortable temperatures today. So I did have another full day's hiking plan today, but the dog is absolutely cream crackered. So change of plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the morning in the base camp. I've got some projects to work on, so I'll make a start on that, and then I'll plan as a shorter route, and we'll go and do a shorter route directly from the campsite later this afternoon. So we'll have lunch in the base camp and then we'll go out this afternoon. Fantastic. So the dog is finally back in the land of the living, bless her. She's had about 20 hours rest since we got back yesterday from yesterday's hike. So it's lunchtime now, so we're gonna have a bit of lunch. It's looking quite nice outside. It's overcast, cooler than yesterday. So have a little bit of lunch and then we'll hit the footpaths this afternoon and get our hiking. Bit of cheese and ham on toast, never fails. And nor does my partner in crime. So the plan for this afternoon, so I was originally going to do this 10 miler here, but I've scrapped that. I've planned a 4.5 miler from the campsite. So where that blue dot is where the campsite is, and it's via Attermire Scar, which is over here, and there's a couple of caves to go and visit as well. So that's 4.5 miles for our final afternoon here in the Yorkshire Dales.
Hiking a short distance into the lower dales, a lone tree whose unspoken tales of survival within its harsh environment marks the transition into the limestone scenery where we discover the Victoria Cave. Victoria Cave is a fascinating portal into Yorkshire's prehistoric past. Ancient bones have been discovered inside, including mammoth bones dating back 130,000 years. The return leg of our route passes below the simply incredible Attermire Scar. a 450 metre high limestone scar with caves and prehistoric sites. The scar itself formed part of a gigantic subterranean cliff face which arose from the sea approximately 200 million years ago. The scar was a magnificent sight to see, and being the perfect landmark to close on our hiking adventures, as the route swiftly transitions back to the rolling hills.
So we're back at the base camp. What an amazing hike that was to Attermire Scar. Incredible. In fact, I think I saved the best till last. A few other campers turned up for their weekend here at Langcliffe in South Yorkshire Dales. As you'd expect, the dog is done and dusted again. You'll thank me later, darling. We've had a fabulous time. The hiking has been, what can I say, it's been stupendous, amazing hiking. So the plan for this evening, same as the last 2 evenings, I'm going to cook some food in a bit, and I'm going to enjoy a beer or two, get a film on, and just enjoy being in the base camp for the last night on this trip. It's been absolutely fantastic. It's going to be a damp pack down tomorrow. It's forecast to be heavy rain tomorrow, so I'm going to get wet in the morning, but so be it.
The Yorkshire Dales is a wonderful place. Together, nature and people have created a special landscape of immense beauty and character. Famous for outstanding scenery, unspoilt countryside, and a heritage perfectly matching its personality. As I prepare to depart for home, deep within my heart, I know I have already returned. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on another adventure sometime very soon.